Hi, everybody. My name is Ed, and I'm on the admin team for Men's BSF in Woodinville, Washington. Just wanted to share some techniques that I use to make videos for our class and for our Facebook page using Microsoft PowerPoint and Microsoft Paint. Um, Let me just start off by showing the finished video, and then if this is something that you are interested in doing, then you could follow these steps to make something similar. Uh, so this video is just about 45 seconds. Starts with some leading questions here. And this is for an upcoming seminar that we have for navigating the Bible. And so it's got a photo of Eddie Smith, our assistant teaching leader who's going to be leading the seminar, gives details on when and where it's at, and has the official BSF image for that. Um, and we've also got the Revelation logo in there. So the video is we're going to go through the steps on how to make that, and then you could post that up to Facebook or play it as part of announcements or something like that before your class. So to do this, we're going to start off and we're just going to create a new PowerPoint document. I'm going to call this Navigating the Bible. And we'll open that up. And I am just going to keep my video here as a reference so we can see how we're going to do this. We're going to start off, we're going to make a new slide. We're going to kind of delete these elements. We're going to set our background to black. So I'm going to pick black here. Okay. And then we're going to put on these questions. And I got these questions. I just emailed Eddie and I asked him for some questions that we could use. And so he says, here's a few. And so I picked these three. And so what I'm going to do is just, I did a copy, come in here and we'll paste that. You don't see anything because the text is black and so is the background. So we're going to change the text to white. And we'll do that for these other two as well. That one is also black. I could do all of these at once, but I want to do them individually so that I can control the spacing better. You'll see what I mean in just a minute here. Okay, so for all of these, I'm going to hold down the Shift key while I select them, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say, I'm going to make them center justified. This one, I'd like it to span the whole screen, and I want it to be as big as possible without going off. So I'm gonna, let me just make that be the whole screen width so that I can see how big I can make this. Okay, so 28 point is too big, so we'll do 24 point, and then I'm just gonna make both of these the same 24 point. Oops. Okay, and this one needs to go like that. Okay, so and then this one needs to be bigger. Okay, so we've got all these elements. So what we're going to do now is I want to sort of space them evenly on the screen. So I like this one, how far it is from the top, and this one, I like how far it is from the bottom. So now I'm going to select all three of these. I'm going to say arrange, I'm going to say align, and I'm going to say distribute vertically. So that goes like that. And then I will just make sure that they're centered. So I'm going to grab this, and you see that red line in the middle, that tells me that's centered. We'll do the same here, and then we'll do the same here. Great. Okay, so that's our first slide. Our next slide, we're going to do very similar things. Format the background, make the color black. I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that. And we're going to look at my reference video. What did I say? I said, come find out. Okay, so we're going to change this to say, come find out. And I wanted to make that bigger. That looks good. And then this one, I'm going to put it dead center so that you can see those red crosshairs are showing that this is in the center vertically and horizontally. Great. New slide. This is the one where we're going to have Eddie. Okay, and so we've got a couple of things going on here. Is you notice as I drag this that the information down here appears after the slide. So I'll get to that. I'm going to get to all of this animation after we get the basic deck produced. So first, let's put this image here of Eddie. So I'm going to format my background. I'm going to make that black. And now I'm going to come here. Here's my image. I'm going to say copy this. And then I'm going to click in here. Somehow I'm going to paste it. Oh, I'm going to paste it up here. Okay. So this is taking up the whole slide. So I'm going to make this smaller, about like that. I'm going to come up here to format picture, or picture format rather. And I'm going to pick this one because this makes it look like it's reflecting. And I just like how that looks. I'm going to make it be about like this big. And then I need to get Eddie over here. So what I've done is that he and I, after class one night, I asked him if he would just pose for me, and we used a blankish wall because we're going to remove the background. This was the photo that I liked the best. So we're going to right-click on this and say Open with Paint. Paint comes with Windows. We're going to use a feature I'm pretty sure it's only available in Windows 11. So you need to be probably using Windows 11 for this. The photo is pretty big, so we're going to just resize it down to 25%. And then we're going to come up here and say remove background. This is the Windows 11 feature. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's really pretty good. So we're going to do that. And then just to make things a little bit easier, I'm going to select just Eddie so that we don't have all this white or all this background. It's just makes it a little bit easier to manipulate this. Okay, so we've done that. And then I'm going to say select all. I'm going to copy. I'm going to come back here and paste. Okay, make that a little bit smaller like that. Great. Okay, that looks good. And then the last thing we're going to do is, we're going to do two more things. We can say taught by Eddie Smith. So insert text box and say taught by Eddie Smith. You can see that that's pretty hard to read, so I'm just going to change the color to this sort of this orange accent to lighter 60%. Okay, that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to use my zoom wheel, and I'm going to hold down the control key so that I can zoom in on this image of the text. Because there's two things I want to do. Is it's still a little bit hard to read, so I'm just going to select this. I'm going to do a right-click, copy, and then I'm just going to click over anywhere, and I'm going to do a paste. So now we have two of these, and what we're going to do is change one of them to black, because we're going to create a shadow here. And now you can see that the shadows on the top, I want to move it to be underneath that orange one. And so let me select the orange one. All of these elements, they're actually in a layer. And so we look at it like this, but the PowerPoint has things in a stack. And so in this stack, the black is on the top. So I'm going to select the orange and I'm going to say arrange and I'm going to say bring to front. And so now you can see where the orange is on top. I'm going to lay both of those right there. I'm going to zoom in again so that I can just get a little bit closer. And then I'm going to use my arrow key and I'm just going to bump it up 1, 2. And then I'm going to bump it to the left, 1, 2. And so that makes a nice little black drop shadow. I'm going to zoom out by scrolling down. That looks good. Two things now is I'm going to change this font to, I think it was MV Bali was what I liked. Or MV Bola. MV Boli. Okay. That matched sort of this Bible navigation seminar font. And then, unfortunately, I should have done that before I did all that other stuff because I have to change that one too. Okay. There we go. And then we're just going to move that, move that. Okay. Great. So now we're looking pretty good. This is my video again. And then down here, we've got the other, the information about when and where. So we'll put that in here too. Just going to say insert text box. We'll click down here and what did we say? Monday, September 23rd. And that, we want that color to be that orange. Okay. September 23rd. We said 5:30 p.m. And we said Woodinville Alliance Church. Okay. I did Control A to select everything there, and I'm just going to center justify that. Okay, that looks good. You might be thinking too that this is just making a slide deck, which is true. But what we're going to do after this is show how to animate it and then how to export it as a movie, so that we can post it on Facebook. Okay, so we've got all of that stuff. Next slide is sort of my teaser. I say, hey, we will feed you pizza and soft drinks. Food is always good to try to entice an audience to attend your seminar. Make it a black background. Get rid of these. I'm going to say insert text box. And I'm going to say also, and again, that is black is the default color, so that's why we don't see that. So we'll change that to white straight away. And say also, we will feed you pizza and soft drinks. And we will center justify this, and we'll make it bigger, and we will do this. Great. Okay. And I think we can make that a little bit bigger. Oops, I only had that word selected, so it's just making that word bigger, but we want to make everything bigger, so we have to select it all. Okay. I think that's good enough. And I'm just centering this in the crosshairs. Okay, 2 more slides. So next slide. I'm not going to put the background to black, and you'll see why in a second. So what I'm going to do is I want my BSF slide. Copy that, my BSF revelation slide. Paste that. And what I'm going to do is for the background, first I'll make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. I want the background to be the same color as this. If I make the background black, then you'll see that that you can still see the lines here, the line between this charcoal and this black. So I'm going to select color, I'm going to do the eyedropper, and I'm going to pick this color. And there, now it blends in seamlessly. And you'll see why I want to do that when we get to the animation part. So for now, I'm going to bring this right up to the corner, and then I'm going to bring that down. Great. Okay, and then we've just got one slide left, which is just, oops, I copied something on accident. Okay, we have one slide less, or left, and it's just going to be a black slide. And we're going to say format, and we're going to say black. Okay, we've got the slide constructed. So now what we need to do is just put in the animations so that it'll play on its own. And then we're going to export it and make a video. So here's what we do is we want this slideshow to just play on its own. If I were to play it manually right now from the beginning, then I'm just clicking, and I have to click my mouse in order to advance the slides. So we want them to advance automatically. So here's the first thing is we're going to say, we're going to select this element. We're going to give it an animation, and we want it to fade in. We want it to fade in with the previous. That means that when the slideshow starts, we want it to just automatically fade in. Duration is how long does the fade last? Half a second is good. And then delay, we're also going to give this a half a second. So that means that it'll start to fade in half a second after the video. So that we get this, we achieve this effect of right here where it starts black and then it comes in kind of slowly. So we're going to do that for all of these where we're going to give it a fade. We want it to be after previous now. So that means that this one is coming after this one. And now I want to delay it. I think I have it like 2.5 seconds because I want people to have a chance to read this before this one starts fading in. And then we're coming to this one, and I'm going to have it fade in. And I'm going to have this one start after the previous, half a second fade, and 2.5 seconds. So now if we just do a preview of the slideshow, I'm just going to show this slide. Then it's going to go like this. 2.5 seconds later, and then 2.5 seconds later. So that's got that first slide. And so the main things we're working on is animations to bring those in and transitions. And so transitions, what I want to say is, when do I want to advance the slide? I don't want to click it. I want the slide to advance automatically. And then my timing is, remember, I had this one waiting 2.5 seconds, 2.5 seconds, and half a second. So that's 5.5 seconds. So I want to show this slide maybe about 7 seconds. So the slideshow will start, and after 7 seconds, it'll go over to this slide. And so when we go to this slide, I want to fade to it. So I start here, and I'm going to fade to here after 7 seconds. I just want to give people a chance to read this for about 4 seconds. So I'm going to advance my slider, again, not after a mouse click, but after 4 seconds. Okay, so now we're moving on to this slide. On this slide, I want this to, let's see, I've got this animation, remember. So this animation, I wanted it to fade in, and I want it to fade in after the previous. I want it to wait about 4 seconds. And so what this is doing is, this is just showing here so that when I come to my slide or my video, it's waiting 4 seconds before this comes in. And just my idea there is that I want people to have a chance to just look at the picture and look at that info there before these details slowly fade in after 4 seconds. So that is just sort of my decision. You don't need to do it like that, but that's how I wanted to do it. So I said my animation after 4 seconds, fade this one in. And then this whole show, my transition is that I want to advance the slide from this one to the next one, not on the mouse click, but after about, we'll call it 12 seconds. So we're going to leave this slide on for a good long time, because this is the most interesting slide, I think. Has the most information. Then I'm going to go to this slide, and this, again, there's no animation on here. All we're going to do is say the transition that we don't want to go on mouse click. We want to just leave this up here for about 4 seconds. Last slide is this one. So we're going to transition to here. So we're going from 4 over to 5 after 4 seconds. And the animation I want to do is this rotate. So it'll rotate like that. And so something that you're maybe able to see, I'm going to play this again, is you'll notice over here on this left-hand side where the background goes from black to the charcoal. And that's why I set the background over to charcoal like this, is so that it'll fade like that. You can do a lot of different things like this. Like you could set this background over to white. If you did it as white, then when we do that rotation, oops, let me get this, come here, buddy. Okay, when we do this rotation, then it's going to go from black to white, and that, it's just a different effect. I don't like it. I like I think it's a lot better to do it like that. Okay. So then we want this, again, we don't want to advance it on a mouse click. We want to wait, and we're just going to give it 4 seconds to let people look at that logo, and then it'll go to this. And so now in this one, I don't want to do a fade. I just want this to pop off the screen. Like, so we're not going to put a transition here. We're going to leave this as none. And then advance the slide. Doesn't matter because this is our last slide. Yeah, and then we want the duration. So on our show, though, we want this slide to sit here for 2 seconds. So so that's it. So now if we do a final sort of QA across this, we're just going to click each slide and look at the transitions to make sure that it advances after a time, not after a mouse click. Okay, that one looks good. That one looks good. That looks good. That looks good. And then this one doesn't matter, it's the last slide. So I'm going to just go to the top and I'm going to say slideshow, play from the beginning. And this is our show. So we're going to let this roll. And then what you saw there is that I didn't have a fade. It just popped over to that. So I'm going to go back and put a fade in there for that transition. And yeah, you can customize this any way you want. What I find is that PowerPoint is just super powerful because we can make these animations that look real pleasing, I think. Okay, so I think that it was this one where my transition, yeah, it was set to none. So I want to set that to fade. Something I found too is that fade, you can do a fade through black, which looks nice, but it doesn't work through the video, which is our next step. So I leave it as smoothly. Okay, so our last step here is now I'm going to say File, and I'm going to say Export, and I'm going to say Create Video. So for mobile or for Facebook desktop, to be honest, this HD is a great size. Standard is probably great. Um, so I'm going to just do it as this. You can see where it says use recording timings, which is what we want, because we've added all those timings. And then we're going to just say create video, and I think that's all we do. This is the one that we were looking at before, so I'm going to say final version. Save that. Down here, it's going to have our export progress. While this is exporting, I'm just going to sort of right click and close the video that we've been playing, because I'm going to bring up our new one. And there we go. It says it exported Navigating the Bible final version. Here it is now. I can open that and I can play this. And here we go. And so again, that was sort of abrupt, that transition from the first to second slide. And it's because I didn't have the timing on that first slide. It should have waited a little bit longer. So I make these, and then you watch them a whole bunch of times, and then you adjust your timings as you like. Great. Okay, so where was it? Oh, it was this one here that I thought the timing was pretty rough. Yeah, so I don't think it waited much at all. So if we look at this slide, the problem was that on the transition for this, I said wait 7 seconds, and it should have been longer. If I go to this animation, I can click animation pane, and it shows each of these. And we had 5 seconds and a half second, so that's like 5.5 seconds. And I guess that we want to maybe have this be maybe 9 seconds instead. Anyway, you get the idea. So that's how we make the slide and how we export the video. And then we see, yeah, that seems to be a little bit better. I might adjust that more, but that's how we do it. And so now we've got this video that we can just post up on Facebook, and yeah, customized for our class with Eddie on there, and I think it's eye catching. So we might get a boost of attendance. All right, thanks for watching. Good luck.